Big breaking news. Arsenal agree deal for Ezri Konsa. Here we go. Arsenal fans, this is the defensive breakthrough many supporters have been waiting for. Arsenal have agreed a deal to sign Ezri Konsa from Aston Villa, with the transfer now at the here we go stage. The agreement is reported to be worth around £50 million plus add-ons, while a long-term contract has also been agreed with the England international. After weeks of negotiations, Arsenal have finally found the breakthrough they wanted. The Gunners have been looking for defensive reinforcement, and Konsa has emerged as one of Mikel Arteta's preferred options. This is not simply a transfer for the future. Arsenal are bringing in a Premier League proven defender who can immediately compete for a place in the starting 11. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss any Arsenal updates on this channel until the next. Arsenal finally get their man. The story of Arsenal and Ezri Konsa has been developing for weeks. Earlier in the summer, Arsenal's interest was already clear. The club had considered Konsa as an important defensive target, particularly because of concerns surrounding the fitness of William Saliba and Jurrien Timber. Arsenal initially faced resistance from Aston Villa. Villa valued their defender highly and were not prepared to let him leave cheaply. Reports earlier in the month indicated that Villa were looking for a fee around the £60 million mark, while Arsenal were trying to negotiate a lower price. That difference in valuation slowed the negotiations, but Arsenal did not give up. Instead, negotiations continued, and now the two clubs have reached an agreement around the £50 million mark, with additional payments potentially taking the final value higher. That represents a major breakthrough for Arsenal, and now the next steps are becoming clear. Medical next for Konsa. With the agreement in place, Konsa is expected to complete his medical before the transfer can be formally completed. Reports indicate that his medical is scheduled for Thursday, with the deal expected to be finalised before the weekend if everything goes according to plan. So Arsenal supporters should not expect the official announcement to be the only important moment. The medical is the next major step. Once that is successfully completed, Konsa can put pen to paper on his long-term Arsenal contract and officially begin the next chapter of his career. Why does Arteta want Ezri Konsa? The biggest reason is versatility. Konsa is primarily a centre-back, but he is also capable of operating at right-back. That flexibility could be extremely valuable for Arteta across a long and demanding season. Arsenal are preparing for another campaign filled with Premier League football, Champions League matches and domestic cup competitions. That means Arteta needs more than 11 quality players, he needs depth. And Konsa gives him exactly that. He is experienced in the Premier League, comfortable defending in a high-level system and familiar with the physical demands of English football. The fact that he can cover more than one defensive position makes the signing even more attractive. A big boost for Arsenal's defence. Arsenal have already been dealing with defensive concerns. William Saliba's injury has been a major talking point, while Jurrien Timber has also had fitness concerns. That situation has increased the pressure on Arsenal to strengthen the back line. The arrival of Konsa gives Arteta another experienced option. Instead of being forced to rely on the same defensive players week after week, Arsenal can now rotate more effectively, and that could become extremely important as the season progresses. One injury can change everything in football. A defender can be suspended, another can pick up a muscle problem. Fixtures can arrive every 3 or 4 days. For a club competing on multiple fronts, having a player like Konsa available could make a huge difference. Konsa brings Premier League experience. One of the most attractive things about this transfer is that Konsa does not need time to understand English football. He already knows the Premier League. He has faced top attackers. He has played in high-pressure matches. He has experienced European football with Aston Villa, and he has developed into an established England international. That experience is exactly what Arsenal are looking for. The Gunners are not signing a player who needs several seasons to adapt to the league. They are signing a defender who should be capable of competing immediately. From Aston Villa to Arsenal. For Aston Villa, this is obviously a major departure. Konsa has been an important part of the Villa squad, and losing an established defender at this stage of the transfer window creates a significant hole for Unai Emery. Villa now have to think about replacing him. Reports have already suggested that Aston Villa are looking at possible defensive replacements, including Chelsea defender Tosin Adarabioyo, so Konsa's transfer could trigger another chain of moves before the transfer window closes. For Arsenal, however, the priority is simple: get the deal completed. Is £50 million good business? That will certainly be debated. Around £50 million plus add-ons is a significant investment for a 28-year-old defender. Some Arsenal supporters will look at the price and say it is expensive. Others will argue that Premier League-proven defenders now command major transfer fees, and Arsenal are paying for reliability, experience and versatility. The important point is that Arsenal clearly believe Konsa is worth the investment, and considering the defensive injury situation, the club appears to have decided that strengthening now is more important than waiting for a cheaper alternative. Arsenal had also explored other defensive options, including Bayer Leverkusen's Konsa, but Konsa has now emerged as the player they are set to bring in. Konsa's role at Arsenal. The big question for Arsenal supporters will be, where will Ezri Konsa play? At centre-back, at right-back, or will he rotate between both positions? The answer could depend heavily on injuries and Arteta's tactical decisions. Konsa's ability to play as a right-sided centre-back and cover at right-back gives Arteta options. If Arsenal need defensive stability, Konsa can provide it. If a centre-back is unavailable, he can step in. If Arteta wants a different structure at right-back, Konsa can potentially help there too. That versatility could make him a very important squad player. And if he performs at the highest level, there is nothing stopping him from becoming a regular starter. Another statement of Arsenal's ambition. This transfer also says something about Arsenal's ambition. The Gunners are not simply trying to build a squad capable of competing in one competition, they want to compete everywhere. The Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. That requires a deep squad. Last season demonstrated just how demanding a long campaign can become. Arteta cannot afford to have his team weakened every time one or two key players are unavailable. Konsa gives Arsenal another high-level option, and that could be exactly what the manager wanted. Competition for places. Another interesting part of the transfer will be the competition it creates inside the Arsenal squad. Arsenal already have quality defenders. Konsa's arrival means nobody can assume their place is guaranteed. That competition can be healthy. Players have to train harder, they have to maintain their performances. And they know that if they drop their level, another quality defender is ready to take their position. For Arteta, that is a very positive situation. Managers love having difficult decisions. The problem is not having too many good players. The problem is not having enough. Arsenal fans should be excited. For Arsenal supporters, this is another major piece of transfer business. First came the attacking reinforcements, then midfield additions, and now the club is strengthening defensively. The signing of Konsa could provide Arteta with another reliable option as Arsenal prepare for a huge season. And because he is already experienced in the Premier League, there should be less concern about adaptation. He knows the stadiums, he knows the intensity, he knows the physicality, and he knows what it takes to compete at the highest level in England. Now he has the opportunity to do it in an Arsenal shirt. What happens next? The immediate focus is the medical. If Konsa completes his medical successfully, the final paperwork can be completed and Arsenal can move toward officially announcing the transfer. The reported agreement is around £50 million plus add-ons with a long-term contract already in place, so Arsenal fans are now waiting for the photographs, the Arsenal shirt, the Emirates Stadium, the official announcement, and finally, Ezri Konsa walking out as an Arsenal player. The bigger picture. This is more than just another name added to the squad. It is a response to a real problem. Arsenal need defensive depth. Saliba's situation has increased the urgency. Timber's fitness has also been a concern, and with a demanding season ahead, Arteta needs players he can trust. Konsa fits that profile. He is experienced, he is versatile, he is physically strong, he understands Premier League football, and he has international experience with England. At 28, he is also entering a period where Arsenal can expect him to contribute immediately, rather than waiting several years for development. That makes this a very different kind of signing from a young prospect. Konsa is coming to Arsenal to help now. Drop your score prediction in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notification S for more Arsenal news, transfers, training updates and breaking stories. The champions are back. The title defense starts now. COIG.